All this time, you've been reacting to her, smiling when she mocks you, explaining yourself when she goes quiet, apologizing for things you didn't do. You think you're being respectful. You think you're keeping the peace. But what you're really doing is bleeding out in slow motion. She doesn't hate you. She's testing you. And not in some manipulative, cruel way. Not like some evil plan out of a red pill forum. No, it's way more primal than that. She's testing your frame. She's testing your sense of self. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to see the test, pass it, and come out stronger than you've ever been. She doesn't say it with words. She says it with silence, with rolled eyes, with a little too much interest in the guy next to you. She says it by being 5 minutes late, 10, 20, by looking at her phone when you're mid-sentence, by asking if you're really wearing that. It's subtle, it's deliberate, and it's ancient. Every woman does this consciously or not because she has to. She's scanning your nervous system. She's watching how you respond under pressure. It's not about drama, it's about survival, because a man who can't hold his ground in a conversation won't hold his ground when life falls apart, and she feels that. The guy who stumbles when she pulls away, the guy who flinches when she pokes at his ego, the guy who instantly panics when she gets cold. She doesn't hate that guy. She just knows she can't trust him. And trust is the foundation of desire. No trust, no craving, no respect, no fire. And here's where you keep failing. You think the test is the problem. You try to solve it. You overtalk. You ask her what's wrong. You change your tone. You drop into fix-it mode. You've just lost, because the test isn't about the thing. It's not about being late, or how you said that sentence, or the fact that she didn't text back. The test is, are you still you, even when I shake the ground? And 90% of guys, they become somebody else the second things get uncomfortable. They lose their spine the moment there's friction. They become emotional lapdogs that triggers the one thing she can't unfeel. Revulsion. It's not even conscious. She doesn't plan it, but something in her body and her wiring just pulls away. You become safe, but invisible. Sweet, but forgettable. Comfortable, but dry. And you don't even know what happened. You think she just changed? No, you did. You folded. And when you fold in front of her, she doesn't feel bad. She feels nothing. But what if you didn't fold? What if instead of reacting, you held? What if you could recognize the test in real time and lean into it? Not with anger, not with arrogance, but with absolute stillness. With quiet eyes, with the kind of energy that says, I know who I am. You can come or go. I'll still be here. That's the man she wants to surrender to. Not the charmer, not the nice guy. The man who doesn't flinch when her fire gets too hot. So how do you become that man? Start here. Most of the tests you're failing aren't loud, they're microscopic. She sighs when you say something ambitious. You explain yourself. She cancels a plan last minute. You say it's okay. I understand. She flirts with the waiter. You laugh it off, but your body tightens. She feels it. Every time you react from insecurity, you train her nervous system to stop trusting yours. You're not a rock. You're a reed in the wind, and that's not safe. That's not sexy. It's forgettable. Here's what holding frame really looks like. She pushes. You stay calm. She pulls away. You don't chase. She jokes about your haircut. You smirk. You agree? Yeah, it's awful. And I still look better than most guys. It's not bravado. It's not fake alpha. It's a man who doesn't need her to regulate how he feels about himself. That's what breaks her mind. That's what makes her wonder, wait, what is it about him? It's the total indifference to being approved. When you stop being afraid to lose her, you start to become the man she's terrified of losing. But here's where it gets brutal, because to become that man, you have to sit in discomfort, not run from it, not soften it, sit in it. When she gives you the cold shoulder, you don't chase, you don't flinch, you let her come to you. Because real confidence doesn't rush to fix, it waits without fear. She tests you with emotional distance. Don't plug the gap with gifts or overtalk. Let her feel the silence. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Most men never get there. They're too desperate to avoid tension, too scared to be seen as mean. But here's the raw truth. Attraction lives in tension. Desire needs resistance. The second you remove it, everything dies. So you want her back? Don't send her flowers.
Yes.
Don't write her poems. Don't try to prove how much you've changed. Prove it by not caring if she sees it. You hold your ground. You speak less. You let your energy speak for you. Because the man who can be alone with himself, without begging for reassurance, without needing to be validated, without flinching when love goes quiet, he is unshakable. And deep down, that's what she's really testing for. There's a moment every high-value man experiences. That turning point where he stops asking, "What does she want from me?" and starts asking, "What am I willing to not tolerate?" See, it's not about becoming some cold-hearted bastard. It's about becoming unavailable to disrespect. And the moment you draw that invisible line, everything about how she sees you changes. You don't tell her you're confident. You show her by how little of your time she's allowed to waste. You don't argue over petty comments. You dismiss them with your silence. You don't threaten to walk away, you just do it, if it ever comes to that, and she feels it. She feels that she's in the presence of someone who dose in to need her to feel complete. She feels the weight of your attention because it's not always available. She feels the depth of your eyes when you say nothing and just look at her, and now she's the one spinning. Understand this. If she knows that no matter what mood she's in, you're going to validate her, chase her, coddle her emotions, then you've given up your power. She's not drawn to you. She's managing you. And no woman dreams of managing a man. She wants to feel his gravity. But you keep failing her test when you need her to feel good about yourself, when you can't walk away. When you're addicted to the hope of her approval, it's the little boy in you crying out, "Please just tell me I'm good enough." And she hears that voice in everything you say. You think you're being sweet? But what you're being is predictable. Nothing kills desire like predictability. She doesn't want to know exactly how you'll react. She wants to feel the danger of not knowing. It's not the danger of you hurting her, but the danger of losing you, because you have standards, because you're rare, because your time is heavy. When she senses that weight, the tests don't stop, but they change. They become less about can I break him, more about can I measure up to him. And that's the moment the power dynamic shifts. Not because you played games, but because you finally stopped playing hers. It's because you finally realized you don't need her to come back. You need to stop leaving yourself just to make her stay. So here's the final cut of truth. You're not failing her test because you're weak. You're failing because no one ever told you what the test was. You thought relationships were about proving your loyalty, showing how available, how supportive, how nice you could be. But women don't crave your availability. They crave your value. Here's the real test she's running. Will you betray yourself? To keep me happy? Because the moment you do, she knows she's already lost respect for you. When you dim your light just to keep her around, you become forgettable. When you avoid conflict just to stay liked, you become ordinary. When you silence your boundaries for comfort, you become her emotional sponge, not her man. She's not looking for your perfection. She's looking for your center. That invisible core inside you that says, "This is who I am." You can love it or leave it, but it's not changing to win you. And when she pushes against that core with sarcasm, with distance, with little games, you either reveal a man who bends or a man who burns steady. The first gets tolerated. The second gets obsessed over. I don't care how many times you've messed it up. I don't care how many times you've folded, chased, begged, or over-explained. The moment you decide, no more, I will not abandon myself again, is the moment everything starts to shift. Because here's the paradox. The more willing you are to lose her, the harder she fights to keep you. Not because you're playing a part, but because you've become something rare, unapologetic, unshakable, untouchable in your self-worth. So the next time she pulls away, tests your tone, mocks your dreams, or flirts in front of you, don't respond with need. Respond with nothing. Let her feel your silence like a wall she wasn't ready to hit, because you're not reacting anymore. You're watching. You're deciding. You're filtering her. And that's what turns the whole game upside down. Because suddenly, you're the test. And she's the one wondering if she passed. You don't get her back by proving yourself. You get her back by proving you never needed her to begin with.